Okay, Virgo. Cover the damn girls up. Okay. So I was gonna post a video I did for Taurus next. But when I went back and looked at the views, y'all was up there. It was Scorpio, Sag, and Virgo. As far as the support goes, and I appreciate the shit. I appreciate that shit. I really do. So I'm not gonna make y'all wait. So I have the chakra stones here. I have the rough, the tumbled, and the refined with the chakra stamp on it. Roughly, let's see what you're needing more focus on, or which chakra is actually being chosen to be worked on at this time. Oh, okay. Your communication with your throat chakra. Also with what you're hearing or the way that you perceive communication coming into you. Things you're ingesting as far as orally, AURALLY, orally, ORALLY. Things you're reading, things you're witnessing. Okay, we have solar plexus. It's popping. Is it not? Well, these are the nails though. And I'm gonna have to paint them again. These shits chip. That's what I get. But that's just my me time. It's like my hands present themselves to the world I live in. You know what I'm saying? The way that I offer my service, not just with the cards. You know what I'm saying? In the medical field as well. And, you know, people see my hands. They can't see my fucking face. And that bothers my soul. I swear it does. But we're not going to go there. Okay, so this slipped out. Okay. So we have the carnelian representing the root chakra. But it came out with the third eye. And what I find interesting is Taurus actually got the third eye clear quartz for their rough stone. And they had lapis lazuli for the chakra refined stone. What I'm getting with this. Before you let someone in to your sacred space, you put them through your sacral space. You see them through the work that you've done there. Okay. There's this thing, okay? We have the seven chakra points, right? But you know you have one above your head and you have one below your feet. You also have ones in your hands and you have one at your perineum. Right? What do they call it? The gooch. For a man, it's the gooch. For a woman, it's that portion between the opening of the vagina and the anus. It's that little, there's a chakra there. Now, if, say I'm interacting with someone and I'm just talking to y'all, it's like y'all at my house. Oh my God. Okay. So the way that I know that somebody, after all the work I've done on my sexual healing, familial stuff, everything to do with this sacral chakra, right? Because we do hold in our womb space generational things as well. So once you open up that chakra, it comes through the base, but it's related to the sacral. If you're interested in someone energetically, that portion of you will spasm. It will, or your uterus will flutter. It's not like it's not a sexual response. It's not sexually based. It's it's um it's your body letting you know who is like aligned with the energy in your sacral chakra, who is a match for your sacral chakra. So your body will communicate that to you. And it's not anything specific that they'll say or do. It's coming through the third eye, and you're getting the impulse. And it's like, whoa, what was that? And that's alignment. Yeah. So solar plexus, you're silently vocal. And I'll say that because your energy is announcing you through this solar plex. I mean, yes, the solar plexus. It's a very mental sign, but it's an energetic representation of our will. Yellow is a very bold ass color. All those variations of gold, marigold, um, like yellow ombre, um, carnation, um, hell, Tweety bird yellow, big bird yellow. I don't know. That's a very bold color, and when you see it, it pops. It is like the lightest color, the brightest color before you get to white or whatnot. So it announces itself. That is the energy of the solar plexus. And if anybody does use the deity Oshun, the Yoruba goddess, then you'll understand the influence of that yellow color being so impactful, so powerful, especially as a flower, even. Um, like, yeah, though I say marigolds, but sunflowers, those are a very prosperous, very prominent type of yellow symbolism. So with your throat chakra being in its rougher stage, I feel like your communication is going through yet another metamorphosis where the matter of factly is not verbalized. It's felt coming from you. So it's almost like you're not having to speak it, you're just being it. And this is a shift. This is flipping the switch on some things, because there was a time when Virgo was like too opinionated or too outspoken, but reserved in speech on certain things or certain situations. They wouldn't speak with that same directness in certain situations. But now it's like, I only speak when necessary. Helpful fixing, we stopping that shit. Giving out advice and people don't ask for it, stopping that shit. It's one thing to be a listening ear, to have kind words for people, to be nice, but all that other extra shit, kind of understanding not enough and too much, and bringing it right, Goldilocks. I get it. Okay. Well, that bitch was a thief, but we're not going there. We're not going there. We're just talking about the medium, the just right type of. I love how that card is just blazing with the colors that I'm speaking on. And I knew it was a change. It was flipping the switch, because that effort card is carrying that death vibration. Communication. I shit you not, babies. It's underneath the lapis lazuli, but it's giving the solar plexus vibe. So it's like I don't have to speak because my energy presents itself. That's cool. New beginnings. This is different. But it has that root and that solar plexus influence here. This is just a new way of you presenting yourself to others, to your outside environment. And it throws people off because they have always expected you to be the way that you have been. The things that they know about Virgos are the things they expect from Virgos. And it's like, you never even saw my full potential. So did you really even know me then? You knew me then, but do you know me now? Allow me to reintroduce myself. But you're not doing the introducing. Your energy is. They have to come and get to know who you are now. This is the difference. You were offering who you were in a, almost in a, you know you're great. You know you're good. You know you're a good person. You know you have a lot to offer. But you're not offering that up now. It has to be something, somebody meets you in the middle and you give them as they give you. Instead of, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I help, this is how I, you're always that person. And now you're not that generalized always. So they really don't know what to do next. Leadership. I like it. Domestic harmony is here. I want a random card from the middle. Time out. They're both. Ooh. Rebirth. That's that death energy too. But with the tower energy influence. With that 16. You understood why you have always felt you needed to be thorough in your speech, why you needed to reiterate certain things or explain why. Now there's no more the why. I said it, or I did it, or it is, or it isn't. There's really no more explanation. Your energy itself is going to explain. They're going to feel the change. They may not hear you explain the changes you've been going through. So it's a little different, but it's necessary. The work you've been doing here, it's been crowned. It's been given, it's like there's been a stamp of approval from your higher self, from your spirit team anyway. And it brings in a physical sense of domestic harmony. Now you speak from the heart only. If it's not on your heart to say, you're not going to speak it. That's pretty much where it is right now. And so we have all the chakras here represented, not just by the cards, because the third eye is just, it's like a beacon, and it's just, it just scans the environment you're in, every fucking inch of the environment you're in. Therefore, you know when to speak up, when to hold back, when to whatever. It's because we have that sort of energy where it may be too much information given, and we don't get the gist of it being too much information until after the fact. Like, damn, I shouldn't have shared that, or damn, I shouldn't have said that. Not that it was a bad thing to say, but because it wasn't solicited, it wasn't asked for, or it wasn't always necessary to go that extra mile. And taking a time out on that is a good thing, because it just leaves you time to enjoy what you have left. You spent a lot of time communicating with people who, just like your words were falling on deaf ears. They would get the message and it would register later, but you spent a lot of time doing that, and it to the point of exhaustion. You have, you've done more than a 180. You've taken it up a notch. This is 181. So now, because you've been, it's like going from being entry level to the top of the chain, versus people who are at the top of the chain and don't even know the job of the person at entry level. So you've taken the necessary steps to go, like you've trial and error your way all the way to the pinnacle of your growth, where you are now. This leadership is owed you. You have tenure in life experience. So there's certain things that the leadership that you're embodying and that you're owning up to now, which you know you're supposed to lead because you know how it's supposed to be done. And you know that because it's been, you physically done this stuff or seen it or witnessed it be done in incorrect ways. And then you fine tune yourself to getting the right formula for it. Like, this is the most efficient way to do this. And in telling others or teaching others, like, man, it's like, oh, she thinks she knows everything. Oh, he think he just, like, who the fuck does he think he is? No. At this point, you've earned your position. But I'm not teaching y'all shit unless you ask for help. I'm not telling you nothing unless you ask for help. I will watch you sink before I leave my safe ass ship and come help you. You have to ask, because you've also been in a position of not knowing how to ask for help because you're always the helpful one. So knowing the value of that too, this is enhance your leadership skills another level, like, this is that extra that you bring to a position of leadership. I'm gonna choose all cards a little different. So I just saw the devil, right? But then I saw the Queen of Cups. I wasn't even gonna say anything. I was just gonna keep going and shuffling. But it seems as if when you are in a position to instruct others, it is a lot of intimidation that they sense because they know you know what you're talking about. So in doing so, it's almost like a reprimand. It's like, damn, this person's judging me, or damn, they think I'm doing it wrong. And it's like, you may not be doing it wrong, but you could be doing it better. And this is just a tip. Like, when you first start a program or you're first playing a game, they always give you tips in the beginning. And some people, they read the tips and they take the tips, and therefore they have a better experience playing the game because they know those tips. And then, in like beginner mode or training mode or whatever. And then you have other people who will say, man, this shit's annoying, and just go through it. And then the simple basic shit that they could have been doing without a hitch seem difficult. And it's like, this is basic shit though. How do you not know basics? They didn't want the tips. So it seems oppressive. They didn't know that it was constructive. They didn't know, and delivery could have something to do with it too. So we're not going to bypass that, because a Virgo's delivery can be belligerent. It can come off as all knowing, but we're being reminded that not everybody knows what we know or how we know what we know, or come with mental faculties to know certain things in the way that we're familiar or can relate it to something. So it sticks in our mind a certain way. We find a relation in a practical way, so we know, like, similarities or it's comparable to. So with me seeing the devil card, it's like, that's how people and when I was talking about leadership, and I was thinking, like, from entry level to, CEO or to the top of the chain. Top of the chain in the Lover's card is the fucking devil, right? In a corporation, you have the entry level workers. If you've ever seen those drawings where there's a CEO sitting on top of a such and such, sitting on top of such and such, sitting on top of the person actually doing the physical labor. All of the weight is on them. This is how the perception of it is. It's like, in their own experience, your type of skill set, your type of leadership can seem oppressive. And I don't hear many Virgos actually admitting that or admitting to knowing that, but it can. And that's where that intimidation factor does come from. So you'll see this. You'll see this in, if you've got kids, they know that you know. They know that you know a lot. You'll see this with family members. They know you know certain things. You'll see it with love relationships. They'll feel like you're trying to tell them what to do, or that you think you know everything. You'll get those kinds of remarks, or those kinds of that kind of feedback. If you're in this type of category, it because but Queen of Cups though, that is your nurturing. That is the way you give. That is what you have on offer. That is your form of love. And it's not perceived that way. So and this is taking me to when we feel like we haven't been given certain things from, people we're exchanging with in love relationships and at jobs or whatever. It's they're not in full understanding of what they're being given. They don't recognize what you're doing as nurturing. They don't recognize what you're doing as loving. They don't recognize it as something that they need. You're intuiting their need for these things. And this is why you're offering them. This is why you give them without a second thought. Because I love you, or because I care, or because I want to see you succeed, I'm going to give you this. And they didn't ask for it. And you tend to give them things they didn't know they needed. So when it's not there is the only time the real, I won't say only, I'll say the majority of the time when people realize that is your love language. That reversed itself. I was not even supposed to be picking the cards like that. Okay, I see it, so I'm going to show it. The Eight of Cups. That's the last card there. I don't know what you got fed up with and walked away from. We got the Two of Swords on the bottom, Temperance, and Seven of Swords. Ooh, I see the Ace of Cups peeking. Okay. That was peeking. But yeah, we're not there yet. So there's something. Okay, let me just go. Okay, Two of Pentacles is what came out reversed. This is releasing the burden that this is that time out in domestic harmony. Like you have finally gotten a grip on how to use your energy, when to use it, and when to pull back. When it's okay and when it's not. We got Four of Pentacles, Tower, Six of... What the fuck did I just say? What the fuck did I just say? You know when to give and when to hold back. There had to be... giving people information that they don't even know they need. It's justified. It is a good thing to do, and you feel great doing it, but it's also deceptive. It's planting seeds. It's helpful fixing, suggestions. This brings me back to like hypnosis and NLP and things like that. What you're speaking has a level of influence, and it can be seen as manipulation. So the Seven of Swords is coming up, not to say that you're lying to anyone, but you know the result that you're looking for in giving this help. Because a person may not be able to assist you fully because they don't have this information or aren't doing something in accordance to the rhythm that you're doing it in. And you give them this information to influence them to begin to um, get on the same beat with you, be on the same track. We have 10 of Wands, the Star, and an 8 of Cups. It's like too much and not enough versus holding back and like withholding and then giving too much and not enough. It's like those types of things are what's transpiring in your energy. It wasn't even two different things. It was comparable. It's like your physical life and your energetic life, or your emotional life and your physical life. You can start to see that they're not actually two different things. They're one and the same. So I get it. So this Seven of Swords, after the realization of the Tower, and because you can recognize it, because you can see it, that's the only way you can heal it. Having the awareness. So this is why you don't have to speak certain things now, and why you can allow information to come in here and express it here. By the time you open your mouth, you're only like putting on finishing touches to something, because your energy signature has already given all the information to a certain extent. They pretty much get the picture without having to physically ask you. So this Two of Swords is here, and I see like Seven of Cups, and I see the Hermit. There's wisdom now with what to say. You don't have to guess how somebody's going to feel. I think you have that established. The mixing. Look at this shit. The Emperor, that's that leadership. And then you have this Nine of Pentacles here. This is an exaltation. It is a 9 energy too. This leadership card is a 9. So you have gotten yourself from entry level, because underneath this fucking Justice card is Page of Pentacles. I see the Page of Swords right here. So entry level all the way up the pecking order. So you have a fucking right to sit where you sit, feel how you feel, and do what you do. Not without much work. Ooh, you had a lot of work to do. And the thing is, though, you never stop working. That's all you do. Even if you're not physically out doing work, there's always, even if you're relaxing, that has to be like, even in doing that, you're accounting for that time. You know that there could be something else you're doing. You're giving yourself permission to take a break, though. And I dig that. I tremendously dig that. Because you do need it. We have a 10 and a 4. Holding back and doing too much. Right? That's a 14. Then we have this 6 and this 8. That's a fucking 14 too. These things are the same. They weigh the same. They are both like deficient and then surplus. It's like excess. So going from doing too much of something, not enough of something, to doing too much of something, or vice versa. It's like the things that were out of that balance, out of that whack, is being handled. This is the fucking 14. You have a lot of mirroring energies, man, as far as vibrations go. There are certain things that you're not going to put your input on. You could, but you are sensing you don't have to. It's not your duty. And that does confuse the senses a little bit when you're so prone to doing that. But you're coming from a place of wisdom. This Hermit card is a 9. It's also aligned with the leadership. When I say that you intuitively do a lot of things you're led to do, when you intuitively know what others need, you also know you're also listening to the intuition about what you need not to do or do need to do. This communication is sitting here with this lapis lazuli. We have a master number here, this 33. Master numbers, to me, when it comes to those, are similar to major arcana because their influence is very, very strong. Very, not just strong. They ripple out in waves. They affect others. Like, for instance, this tower being struck will cause the neighbors to smell smoke. The terrain around it will be affected. The animals, anything around it will have to shift for this influence. As well as the star, there are ripples and waves in that water. And also the ground itself, there are certain things that are going to transpire. You're not the only one influenced by these changes and these alterations that are being made in your spirit. Because there's more than one person here. And that Queen of Cups that I saw when I was shuffling in the split, like in the cut, is really showing that this is a part of the peace. This is a part of your peace. But it's also going to help bring peace to others. So your leadership is not in that devil energy the way that it has been perceived. Because the devil precedes the tower. It comes right before the tower. And so if you were viewed in that way, you had something to do with it. But even your expression, if somebody brought it to you, even your expression wouldn't fully explain what was happening. Like, because a lot of this stuff, if you're if a Virgo is in full awareness of the types of changes that are being, I'm going to say scheduled, being scheduled on their account or on the, on their behalf, they'll try to prepare for it. They'll try to plan for it. They'll try to make sure they're in a comfortable position in order to receive the change. So if this tower came in the form of a breakdown or a breakthrough, you would want to be in preparedness for it. Just like when your car breaks down, you want to make sure you have jumper cables or fluids to put in your car or AAA, or be able to call your insurance company, something. You have a certain sense of, or even a fucking spare tire. And there's a certain amount of preparation that you would like to have. You'd rather be prepared for something that doesn't happen than to be ill prepared for something that does. And you're equipped. You very much have what it takes to go through these changes. It's just that our comfort, the comfort of going through these changes, is going to be the thought and the efforts you put into accepting the change. It's like, if you feel like something is forced on you, you feel like you had no part in making it happen, or like The biggest problem I feel like is allowing. Just plain and simple. And that's where the devil card can come into play. Wanting to know what is coming, wanting to know when to do, when not to do, and it's not something you can always. You just gotta feel it, baby. That's pretty much what you gotta feel it. The only cards here that had cups in them was the Eight of Cups, and everything else is like a physical, spiritual type of effort. An effort to withhold, an effort to uphold, an effort to share, an effort to, you know what I mean? It's like, stop efforting, take a time out, give yourself permission to chill. Like, got it, baby. You good. Like, just give yourself that permission. You've done more than enough. And now you have to let these things catch up to you. You don't went up and down the fucking Richter scale. Like, so just relax. So you're not having to be very vocal about this stuff the way you once were. Or, common sense isn't so fucking common. And we know this, but instead of always, like, you don't have to mention. You can look, like, that is not my problem. I have the solution. I have a solution, but I wasn't asked for it. So it will seem as if you're withholding in a negative sense, but it's like, if I say something and use these two swords, it's going to have conflict as a result. 5 of Swords. And they're going to think that you think you know better, and you're, always trying to be one up on somebody. And that's not what the intention is. It's like, I'd rather not say, to spare you feeling like you're inadequate or that I'm above you or whatever insecurity you got going on. It has less to do with trying to keep stuff from you and more to do with, like, teaching a child how to tie their shoes. You show them, or they see you do it, and you see them doing it, and they may be doing it wrong, and you don't correct them, you just let them keep trying. Or with them trying to ride a bike or whatever. It is like the type of work that you do mentally and energetically with your efforts, with the way that your mind works. It's just second nature to you. It's like fourth, fifth nature to them. It's like them learning a foreign language. So you have to let them do it. You just have to let them do it. There's nothing left for you to do. Yeah, there's nothing left for you to do. The Emperor is gonna say what they say and do what they do. But you earned your position. 9 of Pentacles, Emperor. You have the Temperance, you have the Hermit, you have the Tower, you have the Star, and you have the Sun, Ace of Cups as well, supporting all of this. You've been at the beginner level and you've earned your way to the top. And in comparison to like Taurus and Capricorn, when it comes to finance and certain things like that, it seems as if Virgo is like the middle child, and they're a little more uncontrollable, can't really, and not controllable like wild, but because our tendencies for service and to be of help and service of others puts others in the forefront, because it does rule work as well. So this is a very laborious type of sign, but it's a very plentiful type of sign. So it does ebb and flow. It does go up and down and things like that. Whereas Taurus is values and fucking personal property, and Capricorn is workplace and stature, and they have their type of grasp on the physical world. And we're not just physical people. We do a lot of things with our hands, or even in speech with the advice that we give, and being that friend and being that confidant or whatever. But it's all the elements we're working with. Like, it's especially mental, physical, and the spiritual connection with our opposite being the most mature water sign. There's all of these elements like chugging and churning, and they're all at different levels. So the balance is necessary. Like, because if you're in this energy, then your Saturn is in Sagittarius, and it'll always seem like your plate is piled high. You know what I'm saying? So it's what am I saying? About it's like, it's your duty, it's your responsibility. And it ain't always your goddamn responsibility. We're taking things upon ourselves that could be left for others to do too, to help out with too, because we've earned our position to be where we are. So you don't have to tend to every single details and kind of covet them as things that you're supposed to be doing, because now you understand the thing you're holding on to now is your balance. The understanding that those two things are not different, that they're actually one and the same. So you can hold on to that notion, not to this extent, but this has a lot to do with that devil energy showing up in reference to you from others viewing you. And it's almost like when you when you're quiet, and when you just work, and when you just do, and when you just perform, and you just are, it'll be like he, there's this secret, there's this best kept secret. What is the fucking why, how, when? Then they start to ask. That's when you give it to them, I guess. So they will seek you out. They will want to know. They will want to talk. And they may not even ask what you might advise, or you may then intuit what they really need or what they really want. But they'll be coming to you for it. So you won't have to think about what to say or wonder what it is. You'll already have the wisdom of knowing. And when it's some bullshit too, you'll be able to know the difference instead of just giving them shit, giving them advice, teaching them something, and they're really not into it, not wholeheartedly with it. So never discuss never discuss cheese with mice is the saying I'm getting. And that's pretty much it. Like, keep your peace. Keep your peace of mind. If you have to take a time out when you're at home and not answer the phone, that's all right too. Like, if that's a place where people know you are, they know you're comfortable, if they call you in your comfort, they're gonna get whatever is naturally you to give. And it seems like they know that. And a lot of people are like that. When they're at home, they're the most comfortable and they give a lot of information. But I see people out at the store shopping, like telling all the business, and being ultra extra comfortable with stuff they shouldn't be comfortable saying out in public. But a Virgo at home is going to give you more of themselves because they're in their comfort. The harmony is at home. So be careful of that too. So if you're at home and you know you're enjoying yourself, consider declining that call, or consider turning on your do not disturb, or if that's not cool, just turn down the ringer a little bit. Or there are apps where you can screen what calls are acceptable and which ones aren't when you have your do not disturb mode on. That way, only certain people can get through to you, or if there's an emergency, you can be reached. Like if they call twice in less than 10 minutes, the call will actually come through on the second time they call you. Because that means, okay, well, they really need to reach you, so this phone gonna goddamn ring. So I don't know, just protect your peace, but at the same time, understand that the way you're being viewed, it's going from being intrusive or oppressive or dominating, even though Virgo energy is subtle and it's a giving sign, it can be seen as smothering or giving too much. So when you recede, it'll seem like you're being secretive or being stingy. And it's like, you can't please everybody. So if you're not, the Five of Pentacles wasn't even up here. It wasn't even up here at all. You had even number cards besides the Nine of Pentacles and the Hermit. But you have these tens, which are ones, they align with your new beginning. You have 33, that's a 6. You had Two of Pentacles reverse, Four of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, 8 of Cups. Even the Tower was a 16. The Star was a 17. But you're on the right track, though. Like, everything that you've been through up until this point, it's taught you how to stop being a fucking martyr, stop giving too goddamn much, and then not to clam up and be administering tough love in the way that you're like punishing others as well. So it's giving you that balance, so you understand that what you're doing, the inner and the outer match. And then two different areas of life are actually the same. It's like it has nothing to really do, like they're not separate. They were very, very similar in nature. See, that 6, that 33-6 with this lapis lazuli, that is the 6 of Pentacles. Communicate when it's asked for. That's when you share. That's when you give. So, and it's not one of those situations where it's like, well, I shouldn't have to ask. You should know what I... No. Especially if you tend to have given more than your share, a person has to fucking ask. Just like now, you're going to be in a position where if you need something, you're going to have to ask for it. I'm not talking about basic shit. If it's not being given and it's basic or it's common decency, you don't have to engage. And that's when you can use that Four of Pentacles energy. And stay to yourself. Give yourself that privacy. Give yourself that time. Make sure that your house is domesticated and harmonious in that domestication. And let that be your getaway from everybody and their non-commonsensical ass. Okay, so that's it. And I will see y'all next time.